And welcome to Homebrew Wednesday for August 15th. This is going to be a bottling video. I'm going to bottle my current beer. It's mostly all going to be shot on my phone, so there's going to be a little bit of clipping here and there, and there's going to be a lot of shaking of the hand, but here we go. Alright, if you've watched any of my bottle cleaning videos, all the bottles in this box have been cleaned, meaning they've been in this bucket and had their labels removed and all that. I have some in here that don't have their labels removed and stuff. The goal is to have enough bottles that I don't have to do labeling and stuff on bottling day. And as you can see, those bottles are ready. Those bottles are ready. Those ones I did a couple days ago, they're basically ready. I probably won't get to any of those, but I have some 22 ounces in there that I probably will get to. That's a bottling bucket. Oh, nope, that's the bottling bucket, and the bottling bucket will be down, and it will get star sand here in a few minutes. This is a fermenter bucket. It's currently empty, but this bucket is the bucket that's going to get star sand. I had pretty much used up my star sand in my last thing I used it on the last if I was cleaning when I was doing samples and stuff on this beer. And so going to mix up a new batch of star sand, and we'll go through that real quick too. This here is the beer in question. Gravity's been stable for 3 days. We're going to call that done. We're not going to dry hop this beer. It's supposed to be malty and not very hoppy. We'll see how that works out. So the steps that are going to happen next is we're going to chase that chipmunk around the floor. Bet you $1 he's behind the garage in the compost pile full of spent grains. I do attract a few chipmunks. We're going to star sand that bucket as soon as we make the star sand. I'll probably show the star sand real quick. I probably won't show the bottling bucket. I may show the siphon into the bottling bucket. We'll transfer that to the bottling bucket. I do that early in the day, early in the process, so that it has time to settle a little bit before I actually start filling bottles. That's all for this section. All right. If you read the directions on the star sand bottle, which are really small, so although I'm trying to zoom in, I don't think they're going to autofocus. Do them sideways. Not going to autofocus, but basically what it says is to use 1 ounce for 5 gallons. Oh, hey, back to star sand. Not sure how much of it I cut out because I haven't done that part yet, obviously. But I kind of overflowed my bucket. And basically what I do is I make sure that what I have in here is 2.5 gallons. Then I use this little deal here. If you open up the one side of the star sand, it has the measuring thing. And if you push it, it fills to the line. And right there is 1/2 ounce. And since my bucket is filled to 2.5 gallons, that is a half batch of star sand. This little jar, plastic jar, which I use for star sand quite a bit, I will often enough have this with just a little bit of star sand in it for caps or some other little thing, or I just fill that up and use that for a day or so when I'm doing hydrometer readings and stuff on a batch. Transferring the beer into this bucket. I don't have a ton of extra hose, so I'm trying to keep the hose right up against the edge to not add too much. The hose gets under the level of the liquid. We're going to show a couple seconds of this because it's just transferring with a siphon hose here. Okay, and here's the beer in the bucket. We're going to cap this bucket. This cap has also been star sand. It's going to take us a while before we're actually bottling because we got to still rinse all the bottles. This is the bucket with the Trube in it, and I like to try to get that cleaned up fairly soon. I did check that to make sure it was closed before I started pouring beer in there. It's one of those things that we should mention every now and then, but if you do it once where you didn't, you won't forget again. Okay, now I used to take and star san all these bottles in the bucket. When the bucket was closer to being done, being used. But since this is a brand new bucket of star san, even though these bottles are clean, they've all been cleaned and they've all been sitting since they were cleaned. I fill them with sanitizer, obviously, but I don't want to do that in my bucket and then feel like I can keep that sanitizer. Sometimes, if I'm close to the end of where I'm going to be using that bucket, I will go ahead and do my bottles right in my bucket. The bucket underneath is the one that's got the star san in it, and then just pour the rest of it into my bottle washing bucket over there, just to add to that water. But for this, I'm using just I don't know, it's a hospital type tub. It makes it so I can fill it with about 4 inches of star san and fill the bottles all the way up. Agitate them nice, spin them good. Don't try too hard to get all the foam out. Don't fear the foam. I'm not going to film all of this. I'm going to get what I think is enough for this bucket of beer. Also, dawned on me, I was looking at one of the other videos here, because a fair amount of time has elapsed here. But since I poured that in there to settle, I looked at the video and I didn't tell you, and I didn't show you at the time, that before I started adding that, the priming sugar was already in that bucket. That's kind of how I put it on. I boil it and let it cool, put it in the bottom of the bucket so that when I add the beer, I get a nice swirl and I don't feel like I have to agitate it to mix it. And so that was it. Plus gravity. I don't know if I showed taking the gravity. I took the gravity about an hour before I did this, just to before I started, to make sure that gravity was the same as it had been for the last 2-3 days, and it was. So, all right, see you in a bit. All right, had a little light. I'm not sure if we'll keep all that light on for most of this, but I have all of the bottles that I expect to need, plus one. In the star san now are all the caps I should need. I expect I'm still going to put a number on these, but these ones actually are Brewer's Best ones that have the, there we go, the BB on them, but we'll see how that goes. So I'm going to get the tubing set up and the bottle wand, and we'll shoot a couple. All right. And first bottle going. Now, I'm only going to show you two, because in a row here, because I need both hands. Because what I typically do is fill this one, and then with my other hand, I put a cap on that one. I'm going to try to do that up in the bottom, and I just set that cap there for now. But because of that, I have to have pretty good control of my wand so that I'm not knocking caps off. And so I'm going to put the phone down, and we'll fill each one like that. Bottle wand is a really nice tool to have. Just, comes from the bucket, comes down. There's a one-way valve at the bottom. You probably can't see, but we're approaching 1 gallon on the bucket. And so I kind of have this not in a bottle. Well, the tip's in a bottle in case it spills. And there's a 2 by 3 back there that I'm going to prop this bucket up with so that I get more out without having to hold the bucket. And this is about the point I do that, when I get to about 1 gallon. And so I'm not going to show the actual doing of it, because obviously if this hand is holding the wand, that thing doesn't move unless I put this camera down. We ended up with 3 bottles we didn't use, and this one is only a partial. The partial I will go ahead and cap, and then I'll just throw that in the fridge today. Let that chill and give it a flat taste. See how it tastes. It's going to be just a touch sweet because it's got priming in it that hasn't been fermented out, but it'll give me a reasonable idea. And that would be the batch in the bottle. That would be the spent bucket, which I'm going to have to clean up and wash here. It's getting late, but I won't get all crazy. This is my capper. Looks much like many of the new plastic ones, but mine's all metal. I may have mentioned before, my capper doesn't have any troubles, for the most part, with twist-off caps. Not all cappers are created equal. I know that some people have trouble capping those and getting them to seal correctly. My capper does a pretty nice job on them. So some of these bottles are twist-offs. And here's a little magic Craig Cam moment. We are capped, ready to go in the house. Marking all these bottles with a 9. Let's go to the closet real quick to where they're going to go. And here's what we got. Down here is a bottle of batch 6. It's the only bottle of batch 6 currently left. In the back there you can't see, but there are a couple bottles of stout. And then this row here is some batch 7. And there's some batch 7 at the back of this row. This is all batch 8, which seems a little odd because that's actually, I guess that's batch 6 over there, and that's batch 5 because that's batch 7. That's the Sarah's Blonde Knot, and everything moves this way in the cupboard except for that at the moment because we're trying to save that mostly for Sarah. And so that's the hole I made. And this closet here is in my computer room, and it sits right around 71 degrees all the time. Makes it good bottle conditioning closet. So that would be that. I'll probably do one more quick looking at me video and wrap this up. Okay, this is the last clip. Ooh, gonna be dark again, but we'll live through that. Of the bottling day, Homebrew Wednesday, with a couple of Sharpies and a little bit of work. Every one of them fit in that closet, just barely. Really not sure the flavor profile of this one, so I'm going to try really hard not to hit it too soon, although when that half bottle chills I am going to try it and see how it tastes there. But I don't want to taint myself if it has some off flavors in the beginning. I just don't know, based on the recipe and based on some of the system things that went the way they did with this beer, I don't want to try it too soon. Although, with that being said, this is the 13th. 5 days from now, I'm going to try some of it at my family reunion. So, hopefully, it'll be carbonated by then. I have faith. It could be a little rough by then. I would think, regardless of what I see there, I will probably try it again on the 24th. Just to give it a couple of weeks in the bottle to set up. So I'm shooting this on the 13th for Wednesday the 15th. That's that. We'll see how much of this gets edited out. I'll try to make this a reasonable Homebrew Wednesday. Obviously won't be the 2.5 minute one I did last week. But that's it. Munising Beer. Cheers, 17.